price we pay for the space we occupy is service to you.
That's right.
And if we stop paying that price, if we ever stop paying that bill, if we ever forget that we owe you that, it's time for us to go. Hello, I'm Councilman Curtis Jones Jr. I represent the 4th Councilmatic District in the city of Philadelphia. It's about 150,000 people. Roxborough, Manio, East Falls, Overbrook Park, Winfield Heights, Parkside, Paradise, and Andorra. We often come in contact with taxpayers who ask me, Councilman, like you, well, what do you really do? And I had to think about it and said, you know what? We do 3 basic things. The first thing that we do is we are lawmakers. And when you look at the city ordinances, we introduce bills, we argue about bills, we pass bills, we send them to the mayor for his signature. Sometimes they're vetoed, sometimes those vetoes last, sometimes they're overridden and they become law for the city of Philadelphia. The second important thing that we do is we do budget. We appropriate the funding levels for each of our 40 different departments and agencies that we run. So anything from DHS, Department of Human Services, police, fire, sanitation, recreation, health department, all of which come to us in January, and we listen to what they need to operate for the next fiscal year. We ask them what they've done with the money for the last fiscal year, and then we make decisions. People often say, well, what do you care about? Well, the easy translation of that is you care about what you fund. If you say you're for education but you don't offer money for it, do you really care about it? If you care about safe streets and you don't hire policemen and firemen and take care of them, do you really care about public safety? So we look at those different departments, look at their productivity, determine where we want them to prioritize, and then we fund them. The third thing we do is really simple. We fix potholes. We fix clean streets. We make sure that lights that go out on our streets are fixed in a timely fashion. So don't call 311, call your councilman. That's what we do. Those are our 3 important functions of being a city councilman. I want to say to you that the reason why we're doing this show is that we want to make the complications of understanding government simple. We won't use big words. We won't use pie charts and graphs. Well, we may use a few, but we will explain it to you so that you, the taxpayer, understand our function. And at the end of the day, we'll make the complicated simplistic and make it available for you. So, welcome to the first edition of Policy Post. We're here in City Council chambers. This is where the magic happens. We work together in a cooperative manner usually to pass legislation. We'll talk about in future episodes just how a piece of legislation gets passed. And as you can see, contrary to what a lot of people think, we do a lot of work. This is last session's work. Some of these bills will never see the light of day. Some of these ordinances won't get approved, but many of them will become the law of the land. And that's the process here in chambers. So let me just give you a brief background of what you see here. So there are 17 members of City Council. 10 of them are district council people. Of those district council people, what I mean is they represent a geography, West Philly, North Philly, South Philly, Northeast. And those districts are cut up into 10, dividing the whole city, approximately 150,000 people per district. Overlapping the district council people are 7 more at-large council people. And the reason why the Founding Fathers did that was because if I only focus on my district and only cared about my district's interests, then the rest of the city gets left behind. So 7 of the members care about the big picture view, big issues like airports and roadways and expressways and convention centers. so that the district council people kind of handle the boots on the ground, right in your neighborhood policy issues, and the at-large people are supposed to handle big picture points of view, taxation and others, even though we all get our say. But we kind of work with the at-large people to give us the big picture view. So now, of those district council people, 9 of them are Democrats, 1 of them is a Republican. Of the at-large council representatives, 5 of them are Democrats and 2 of them are Republicans. And that's basically safeguarded in the charter so that there's not a one-party town, so that the minority party, being the Republicans, can get their point of view in too. So they're not totally shut out. I think that the Founding Fathers got it right. Here's where it gets interesting. We have our chief clerk, and he really is the orchestra conductor of all the business and affairs of this body. Whenever we're in doubt, we look to him for guidance. He is appointed every 4 years, and even if we wanted to, and we don't, we couldn't fire him because he has that stability. He has that consistency. He makes sure that we do things based on the city charter. His name is Michael Decker. And you'll hear him do his thing when we introduce bills and resolutions on the first day back in City Council in this session. Stay tuned. I had this long speech about Juneteenth and the importance of...
Yeah, Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
So, I'm gonna keep it short. I had this long speech about Juneteenth and the importance of it, but for purposes of consciousness, we are one of 43 states that are celebrating Juneteenth tomorrow. And Councilwoman Bass talked about the Johnson home celebration from 10 to I think 6. I think that's important. But the first Juneteenth parade kicks off tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And I think it's really important to recognize that Raheem Islam and Kenny Gamble and others put together this parade to recognize the fact that it took 2 years from the time the Emancipation Proclamation happened for folk to get the word, the memo, the email down in Texas. So it's an interesting celebration. Our mayor, Mayor Kenny, who always has been really conscious about history in Philadelphia, is going to be there, along with many of my colleagues, Councilman Johnson and others. I think it's worthwhile. I think it's the kind of thing that highlights the fact that we are a city that is diverse, and we recognize each and every aspect of our cultural diversity. I feel honored every year when my Irish colleagues allow me to be on St. Patrick's Day, an honorary member, and we're going to keep that tradition alive. And please come out and enjoy yourselves responsibly on the Juneteenth parade. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.